Yo, 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 this is your boy Prime, and it's about that time. Now, check me out now. Now, listen, today is Sunday, so I'm pretty much in my relaxation gear. So I apologize if I kind of look like I just woke up, because I kind of did, but it's been a few hours. I've been up. It's 4 o'clock actually right now, 4:16 Eastern Standard Time. So I've been up for a while, but I haven't moved a muscle really. I mean, I've been sitting here in the house pretty much, and that's because what can I say? I'm chilling today. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna grind it out tomorrow. So I apologize for looking down because I'm looking at a news story that I'm about to present you guys with, and I have to read it off the computer here that you guys can't see here in the background. So this article comes from a writer named Claire Rudy Foster, which is the contributor to this piece here. And basically, the title reads Narcan in the back seat. Lyft and Uber drivers could help fight the drug epidemic with one simple tool. Now, basically, what this all boils down to is this writer is basically simply saying, in a nutshell, that Uber and Lyft drivers should carry Narcan because of the epidemic that we now know as opium. Now, I recently had a passenger have an issue with that particular situation. Now, I know a lot of people want to know, did that person actually overdose, die, whatever? Well, the person did, I think, overdose off of opium. That's what I was told. But I do not know what the results were as far as what happened. Once she went to the hospital, Uber basically is keeping a seal on that, so I don't even know. They won't even tell me. Okay. So the answer to that question is I just don't know. Right? Give me 1 second. Yes, that's good. So, anyways, it goes on to say most drivers aren't prepared for the situation, but they're in a unique position to save a life. And I kind of agree with that because we're picking up people that's between the ages of 18 to about 35 or somewhere in that area. These are people that are likely to be at risk for overdose right now for this particular drug. Now, my thing is that the can is $75, like 2 doses of it or whatever. It goes on to talk about how that works and all that too here in this piece. Since I already read it, I can kind of give you the piece by piece of what I know about the actual piece itself. So this would definitely be something that Uber and Lyft would have to provide drivers, because otherwise it would be no reason for drivers to invest $75 for one of those one-off situations where you have a passenger almost die in your vehicle. Because honestly, that one time that happened, it was the first time it happened. It also goes to say that it may not ever happen again. Well, we'll see. It is an epidemic, so we'll see. It just doesn't really, at this point in my life, I don't think that it's important enough. And I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm just saying it's not on my high agenda of things that I need to have in my vehicle for passengers. Because number one, if Uber and Lyft want to help out that epidemic, because that's where they should come in at. It's really on them, not on the drivers, because we're not medical professionals or nothing like that. So I wouldn't even know. I would need training and everything before I could even go and invest in something like that. It's just similar to, basically handling a gun or something. Like, you don't just go out and get a gun from the gun store and don't have the adequate training to go behind it. I don't even know how to even implement this drug to the passenger if they were overdosing. So I don't know. I have no clue. I would have to go on Google and find out through that. You know what I'm saying? So I still would need my training, and that's where Uber and Lyft would have to kick in, because they would have to offer training to drivers in some kind of fashion, either paid training or or if they made you pay for it, whatever. Uh, Either way, it would have to be some sort of training implemented before I could even consider buying, um, this can for $75. Uh, but to answer that question efficiently and effectively, I think we are in a unique position to save a life, because if I would have had that Narcan and I knew how to implement that to the passenger that was possibly overdosing, I could have saved her right then and there. Because it took me at least 15 minutes to call the police, and then it took another 10 minutes for them to call the EMS. So I'm just thinking, all of this is time wasted on this person's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this person is getting even deeper and deeper to not coming back. So if someone was there able to react a lot efficiently, and not to mention the ride itself took me about 30 minutes before I even realized it was a problem. So, when you add all those minutes up, you end up an hour pretty much of this person going through whatever situation that they were going through that I could have helped, but I didn't even know. I didn't have the proper training. I didn't have the proper tools. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the wherewithal to even know that it was even an issue. So, therefore, I don't know what happened to the young lady. I hope she's okay. I did post that video on here, but I did not say her name, nor did you ever see her face in the picture, in the video. So I will never release that type of information about a passenger. I think that's just uncouth, and it's just not professional at all for me to do something like that. So, okay. So essentially what happens is these passengers, they look toward Uber and Lyft drivers to pick them up after a late night of winding down, drinking, and some heavy drugs every now and again, right? Now, as an Uber and Lyft driver, our job is to simply get them to where they need to go. Our job is not to judge them on what they do, not to even care about that for real. Only thing we're supposed to do is get them to where they gotta go. Now, in the case where they're just, being belligerent, they're not cooperating, and that's when you get to do what you need to do as an Uber or a Lyft driver, and you need to do what you need to do. And if you know anything about me, I always tell you, it's your car, you're in control. So if they're not acting like they need to, kick them out and keep it moving. It's that simple. So it looks like it comes in like a bottle, a pill-like bottle, and it looks like you can pretty much spray it into their nozzles, like a nozzle spray. So it gives them 4 milligrams, looks like here. I mean, it looks very easy. By design, it looks very easy to to implement that. So let me just read you the story real quick, okay? A few weeks ago, one of Ryan's friends died of an overdose in a sober living house. The facility did not have a Narcan available. Neither did the EMTs who arrived at the scene. California laws prohibits first responders from carrying these basic medications like EpiPens, Narcan, or even aspirin or Benadryl. Ryan's friend was alive when the sober living house called 911 and alive when the ambulance came, but without Narcan, it was no way to combat the overdose. So essentially, even, in this case, you had the EMTs come and they don't even have the right tools. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way to combat this overdose. You would think they would actually have it, but the state prohibits that from happening. So shame on the state for that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm gonna skip through a little bit and get to a whole other sentence here. So kind of bear with me. All right, so Ryan and Chad agree that more Narcan in more places will save more lives. This is especially true in places where there's a lot of people who might be engaging in high risk behaviors like backseats of Lyft, downtown of Lyfts, and downtown on a Friday night, or Ubers, right? It doesn't say Uber, but just throw that in there too, right? Because this basically they left that out some kind of way, right? Okay, there is a myth that if more Narcan is available, people will more likely feel free to try opioids. Ryan says some sober living facilities have refused Narcan training because they think it encourages drug use. That could be more further than truth. He says that's like the presence of a lifeguard encourage swimmers to drown themselves. Uh, I don't know, a little bit different situation there. I think because drugs are something that people love. People do drugs knowing that these drugs can kill you on your first time using it. It's kind of a different scenario when you know this thing can kill you. So, uh, not really. Uh, I don't know. I'm not really feeling that per se, right? All right. So the people who are most likely to be affected by heroin are ages between 18 to 25. Now I said 35 because that's typically the people that we pick up as Uber and Lyft drivers. Uh, but that is the group that are most affected, right? That's the same group that uses Uber and Lyft to get around, especially on the weekends. Okay, it's a petition out for this. Okay, I won't go into the petition part of this because, uh, I'd rather you do the work on that one and find out about the petition if that's what you want to do. Uh, because I don't even know if I 100% really think that. I don't even know if I even agree with having Narcan in the back right now at this moment. Even though I had one situation, I think that at some point we will know. Now, maybe it's time to react now. I'm not sure. So I'm not really, I don't know. Because it goes right into this situation right here where it basically says most drivers aren't prepared for these situations, but they're in a unique position to save a life. Overdose can kill. They can cause unconsciousness, vomiting, and even cardiac arrest. Yet a single dose of Narcan can neutralize the effect of opioids drug and put the person into withdrawal. A driver who knows first aid, who has who knows first aid or CPR might be able to help the passenger who hurt or in shock, but without Narcan, there's no way to assist someone who's overdosing. So basically, this all boils down to training. Drivers don't have the adequate training, and since drivers are independent contractors, it kind of hurts that thinking right there because you would have to. It'd be no way for you to force a driver to learn this, to know how to perform any of these different tasks. First aid, CPR. It's some drivers that will know this because maybe they work in that field or whatever. But not all drivers know CPR. I'm one, right? So it goes in and says the Narcan kit with 2 doses of medication costs $75 over the counter. That's pennies for companies that draw $20 billion in gross revenue annually, which is basically what we talking about Uber and Lyft, right? So I tell you what, I will tell you about the petition. Okay, within 24 hours, Ryan's petition had already gathered over 1,000 signatures from concerned parents, friends, and app users. Drivers, too, are calling for more drug education. It's a simple, common sense change that could impact thousands of lives. Now, that's what it says there, okay? Okay, and then this guy named Cody says, when I was addicted to heroin, I could barely afford bus fare, let alone Uber. But now I'm a Uber and slash Lyft driver, and I work for a substance abuse and mental health services provider. It's cool referring people sometimes when the subject comes up and it turns out they're suffering and need help. Okay, so essentially what this is all about it's a petition basically stating that Uber and Lyft need to do their part in basically providing the training necessary for drivers to even be able to perform these tasks that I just mentioned. Also, giving them the tool that we need, which will be the Narcan. It's $75 over the counter. They can afford it. We, on the other hand, don't really. We can afford $75, but it's just like, you know, why would we go out and do that? Like, you know, like some drivers can't see a reason for it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to, me myself, I see a reason for having it, but I don't see a reason for me to go out and buy it either. So it's kind of a catch-22. Now, how I see the reason for having a vomit bag is different because I feel that vomit bags, I have a thing about vomit. That's number one. I don't like people vomiting in my car. I don't like seeing vomit. I don't like smelling it. So that's why I have it. But Narcan, I don't really see myself having that many people that OD in my car. But it has happened once already. So I can't say that it won't never happen again. So in this situation, it comes down to Lyft and Uber. If you're watching, probably not, but I'm listening. I'm letting you know. This is a way to get around this real quick. If you guys can provide the Narcan, provide the training, and I would even go as far as saying training is free as charge, not charging the drivers. Okay, it would help you guys out because this thing is going to hit hard at some point. This opium thing is hit hard in certain areas of the U.S. Up here in Cleveland, Ohio, Lake County is the county that I live in, which is basically like a few miles away from Cleveland. So not like crazy far, maybe like, I don't know, 15 miles away, whatever, from Cleveland, I guess, has been hit hard with this drug. Okay, it's been hit really hard. One of the worst counties to be hit as hard as it is in the U.S. Okay, so it's definitely time for the politicians to stand up. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely time for Uber and Lyft to stand up because really it's on you. Is the ball is in your court, Uber and Lyft. If you guys want to get out in front of this, you guys need to provide us the training. Number one, okay? You need to provide us with the actual tool itself, which is the Narcan. We are not going to buy this stuff, okay? Don't, because Uber and Lyft is good at letting us buy all the stuff. We're not buying it. I'm pretty sure we can write it off on our taxes and all that, but we're not doing that, okay? So I'll leave you with this message. I think that at the end of the day, that this is something that is going to affect drivers at some point. I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to be majority of drivers having these situations. But I can tell you right now, it's a big thing going on, and somebody needs to put something in place where we can actually fix this issue. And I see no resolve so far. I see nobody helping, doing anything positive out here right now to help the situation. Okay, it's really a public health situation, and they need to figure it out. Okay. And Uber and Lyft, you could do yourself a great injustice by at least getting out in front of this thing and getting it before it even gets to your house. So, it's in your court. That's been my time. I'm prime time. Like, comment, subscribe, share my vids. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Don't do the crime if you don't want to do the time. That's been my time. I'm out.